Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our Bitly Deep Dive webinars. Today, we will be focusing on creating Bitly links. It's June 12th, 2024, so let's get started. Quick agenda of what we'll be running through in today's deep dive webinar. We'll start off, as we always do, with introductions so you know who you are listening to today. We'll then review Bitly's missions, just as a reminder as what we're working towards every day here at Bitly. And then we'll get into the main content for today's webinar, reviewing Bitly links. What are they and why use them? After we're a little more familiar with the concept of Bitly links, we'll go into a demo where we'll show how to create these Bitly links and how you can also shorten links in bulk. So as mentioned, want to just do a quick introduction of your host today. I'll kick it off. My name's Maddie Smith. I'm an onboarding manager here at Bitly. I work with our newest enterprise customers to make sure they are set up for success with the Bitly platform. And I will be partnering and co-hosting today with Alex, who I'll pass it to introduce himself.
Thank you so much, Maddie. I'm Alex Hancock. I'm a technical writer here. I manage our help center, so support.bitly.com. And in the course of that, I get to use the entire product, gain some level of expertise in it so that I can write all of those guides and troubleshooting articles on how to use it. So I'm very excited to talk about the topic that is pretty much our bread and butter, shortening links. Very excited to get into it.
Me as well. And we definitely will be sharing some of those links from the help center that Alex works so hard on. Before we get into Bitly links, just want to do a reminder of the Bitly mission. So here at Bitly, our mission is to turn every interaction into a catalyst for connections. We do this through our connections platforms that are made up of three main features. Today, we're focusing on the first feature, Bitly links, which, as Alex mentioned, really is our bread and butter. So you're probably, if you're not familiar already, wondering what are Bitly links and why should you use them? So Bitly links are URLs created to replace long, rambling links and presented in a short, clean form. So essentially taking a very long, ugly URL and shortening it into a nice, clean, short link. There are many reasons as to why you'd want to shorten links in general, but we listed out some of the top reasons as to why use Bitly links and what benefits are associated with shortening links. So with the Bitly links, you can attract more clicks because you have a polished short link that can inspire confidence within those end users, ultimately increasing engagement, which I know is many users' goals here. Additionally, when you shorten links in the Bitly platform, we provide link tracking and analytics so you can really understand how and where users are engaging with the content you're creating and what is working and what isn't. These links in general are much easier to remember than long URLs because they don't have all those random characters. So again, it can really increase engagement and make them very shareable and easy to remember, as mentioned. Many users will use UTM parameters to unlock those granular metrics that web traffic tools are able to capture. But UTM parameters can make long URLs very long and very loaded with those UTM parameters. So shortening with Bitly will allow you to create a Bitly link that looks way more professional looking, but still has the benefits of the UTM parameters. I mentioned that these short links can build confidence, and what we mean by that is it can help prioritize link security. Cybersecurity is on everyone's mind nowadays, so having a short, recognizable link is going to build that trust with end users, and again, ultimately increase engagement. You'll definitely be able to increase link security with end users if you also take advantage of the customization features we offer with Bitly links. You're able to fully customize your links by using a custom domain and customizing that back half. Not only are you building that trust with end users, you're also spreading that brand awareness through every possible channel. And then finally, another huge benefit of creating Bitly links within the Connections platform is once you create a Bitly link, you can regularly update and maintain it. So if your long URL is evergreen or constantly changing, you can update those long URLs on the back end without having to recreate short links and reshare on a regular basis. Now that we've kind of reviewed some of the features related to Bitly links and why you should use them, I want to pass it to Alex, who can show us how to create these Bitly links.
Thank you so much, Maddie. That was such a great overview, and I think it is a perfect time to look at that process. One of the things I think we really want to emphasize is how quick this can be and how easy it is to create a Bitly link. I'm going to go very slowly through the process. Understand that when you do it, especially after you've done it once, it's going to go incredibly fast. I'm going to start with creating a link, just one single link, and I'm going to show you all of the options that you have available to you as you create a link. And then we're going to do it a second time with our bulk upload. So we're going to shorten multiple at once. We're going to start with this one link, though. I'm going to grab this. And this is a great example of a link that I would want to, or a URL that I would want to create a short link for, because it's very long. I could never tell somebody that full URL. And if I shared it even in Slack or Teams or a text message, it's just long and a little ugly. So we can make it much nicer to look at and a little more engaging. So I've copied the URL from my browser. I'm going to pop over to Bitly, where I'm logged in to the Bitly Enterprise account. I'm in the Help Center group. One thing to always be careful about, if you're in an account with multiple groups, you want to make sure you're in the right one, which I am. And then to create a link, I am going to click Create New, and I'm going to select Link. This takes me to the Create Link page, which has everything all in one place. So you can customize it and create it all at once. I'm going to paste this in here. Now, if I really just needed a super quick link, I could hit Enter right now or hit Create down in this corner and then automatically get a Bitly link. It would be copied to my clipboard and I could share it really quickly. That would be one that has the generic hash after the slash. So it'd be, a series of numbers and letters. In this case, I want to make it a little prettier, both for my own use and also for sharing it. So to make it prettier for my own use, I'm going to add a title. This makes it easier for me to find it in my links list later. If you have lots of links, that's incredibly helpful. I like for things to be tidy, and it's nicer to be able to see at a glance what the link is rather than seeing like untitled link or whatever it would say. So this link is for our instructions for creating links. So I'm just going to call it that. And Maddie talked about UTM parameters as one of those things that's very helpful with tracking your engagement using a tool like Google Analytics. UTM parameters really take all of your data to the next level, but it does make a pretty ugly link. So we're going to do that in Bitly so that we can get around that ugliness issue. To do that, I'm just going to toggle this Add UTMs button, and then I can start to add them. One cool thing about using UTMs in Bitly is that you can save them. I'm not going to go fully into that process, but in this case, for the source, I've already used newsletter as a source before, so I can just select it from this list, and there it is. This newsletter, I'm going to send it out by email. So you can see here, I don't have any saved, but now I do. And if I scroll down a tiny bit, we can see this preview of what they're looking like as I'm adding these. And for our campaign, we're going to do deep dive and save that to the list. So you can see that if I were to have all of this at the end of that long link, it would just be exceptionally long. And so because it would be so long and wouldn't look very good, maybe I wouldn't want to actually use these UTMs. What we do when you add UTMs to a link in Bitly, we add them to the destination URL so that you still get that simple, clean, engaging short link. And so you get the value of UTM parameters, but your audience just sees a nice short link. So now I have my destination, my title, my UTMs. We're going to look at how I'm going to share this. Maddie talked about the benefits of using a custom domain and a custom back half. It can really build trust with your audience. It makes the link more engaging. If you have one or more custom domains, you can select them here, or you can always select the default domain bit.ly. If you don't have a custom domain, that's going to be your only option. But in this case, we're going to use this one. And our back half is going to be creating links. Now, one thing to know about your custom back halves is they are case sensitive. So just consider that as you're creating a custom back half. You want to make sure that it's something that is pretty clear. Like L's and ones can look similar sometimes. So just be aware of that as you're creating your custom back halves. Because Bitly is the connections platform, we have several different products that are all connected. They work together to make it easier to share and track your content. I can quite easily create a QR code for this. So I click QR code. I have a number of different customization options. You can customize it further after you've created it. We have a great deep dive on QR codes and lots of content on both the Bitly blog and the Help Center around that. I want to focus on links right now, so I'm not going to go down that road. But I will also say that we can add it to our Bitly page if we wanted to. You can probably, if you have a Bitly page, you may have multiple, so you can select which ones you want to use here and add the button label, and boom, it's on your page. You just have to go over there and publish it. But again, focusing on links, so I'm not going to do that today. I do have everything that I need, though: my destination, title, UTMs, custom domain, and back half. So I'm going to click create. And there it is. The link is created. It's copied automatically to my clipboard, so I can, boom, share it, click it, and you can see here you have all of those UTM parameters baked in there. And go back to the list, you can see how it is nice having that title on there, even if you don't have a ton of links. Speaking of a ton of links, though, I am going to show doing them in bulk. So to use the bulk upload, it's the same process. Click Create New on the left, select Link. And now down here at the bottom, you may have seen this when I was showing the process for just one link. We have this button here, Use Bulk Upload to create many at once. I'm going to click that. Bulk Upload is a link there. And here we have a very different screen. The bulk upload process uses a CSV template that you can download from this page. If you're doing this often, I recommend just saving it, saving the template, and then saving a new version of it every time that you actually upload one. I'm going to click Download CSV template. It's immediately downloaded. I can open it. I just got a little sneak preview of what it will look like when I filled it out. This comes with 3 examples in it. You can add many more. Each of our paid plans has a different number of links, a different limit for the number that you can upload at once. With the lowest paid plan, I believe it's 0. You can check the pricing page to confirm that. And it can go up to, I believe, 100,000 for our enterprise customers. You can do a lot all at once. In the first column, you have the long URL where the link is going to point. You have the custom back, or the ability to add a custom back half. When you upload it, you'll select the custom domain that you want to use. So this is just focusing on the back half. Tags, title, and then also our UTM parameters. So I've already filled one out to make this nice and easy. I've got 3 links in here, and I'm only really concerned about having the title. I'm not using a custom back half for these. I'm not using tags, and I'm not using UTM parameters. But you'll notice that those columns are still there. Something that's really important with this process is that you keep all of the columns and you don't change the header. The import tool for Bitly requires all of those headers. So it's very important to keep those. As long as you have those, it's going to work super smoothly. So I have those. I've already saved this. I'm just going to jump back to Bitly. And I'm going to just drag and drop the saved file that I have in there. So now here we have, you see that the upload file is there. I can choose my short link domain. We're going to use yourbrand.co and submit CSV. Now that the file is uploaded, if you have lots of links in there, it might take a little while. With 3 links, it's probably going to be pretty quick. And look, they're already there. I also have gotten an email that I can follow. It says, hooray, your links are ready. And you can click through that to come to this page, your links page, and see all of them. But you can see I've got the long URL, the short link using the custom domain that I selected, and the title to make it nice and easy to find. So I think that's everything I have to show. Again, that was so much information and so much detail for a process that really is very simple. Do it once and you can do it in your sleep. I guarantee it. So yeah, back to you, Maddie. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to walk through this.
Yeah, no, thank you. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm very eager and excited to go make some pretty links in the Bitly platform. Before we wrap up today, though, I know we get some common questions, so I want to make sure that we cover that just to clarify any questions that might be going through everyone's head today. So one of the most common questions we see is, can I create multiple Bitly links for the same destination URL?
That is such a common question, and it's a really useful thing to be able to do. So I understand why people ask it. You can't to the exact same URL, but UTM parameters allow you to create variations of the same URL, and then you can again better track which one of those links to that destination somebody actually clicked on. We have some information on this on the Bitly Help Center. You can click through this link. We'll share the deck on the Help Center with this recording, but also you can go to the Help Center and search for that topic and see some tips on how to make that happen.
Great, that makes sense to me. And that UTM builder we have in the Create flow really makes it easy there. And then another question we see come through a lot is, I think I kind of talked about this when we were going through the benefits of Bitly links, but want to just go into it a little more. Can I change the long URL after I shortened it?
Yeah, absolutely. On most of our subscription plans, yes. This is a process. Yeah, I think you even used this word on the slide with all the reasons to use Bitly links. It's called a redirect. So you're redirecting the destination URL. It is possible to do that. There's a monthly limit for the number of redirects you can do, and that monthly limit changes by plan, but it's absolutely possible. And yeah.
Perfect. And that actually is a very good segue into some general helpful links that we want to share that go over what we have talked about and more. So just as a reminder, these will take you to the help center that Alex manages and keeps up to date on a daily basis. But we wanted to share the general Create Bitly links help center article. So if you do need a refresher or want to walk through what we talked about again today, you can definitely visit that link. We also offer some general best practices when it comes to creating content in Bitly and sharing that content. So this would include all things related to Bitly links and also touch upon the other features that make up the connections platform, those being QR codes and Bitly pages. So if you get it down on the actual creation process and want to become even more of an expert, I do recommend checking out that best practice article. And then in general, the Bitly knowledge base has tons of articles that go into everything we've talked about in all of our deep dives and more. So if you're just curious about learning about all of what Bitly can do, I definitely recommend taking a look and searching around the knowledge base. And then if you are curious about the differences in different plan types, for example, the redirect limits that might differ depending on the paid plan you're on. We wanted to link the Bitly pricing page so you can see all the packagings we offer. As mentioned, this will all be linked and shared out, so no need to remember or write all of this down. But wanted to just say a big thank you for joining another episode of Bitly's Deep Dives, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks all.